Hello, all my TW555 members here at Midway. Welcome back to the Quick Question Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Perez. I'm one of your alternate union reps for the station, alongside your union rep for the station, Wally Maddies. Wally.
Hello.
And what's going on, man?
No, I'm trying to be as less creepy as Hugo for an introduction.
Well, everybody, we're missing one person today. We are missing Hugo. Unfortunately, he's got a medical issue going on. He's actually getting that sex change he's always wanted. So we're all proud of him, and we're it is 2026. You can do what you want. No, but no, he actually has a medical issue that he's dealing with right now. He's going to be out for a few weeks, so he's going to have to miss this. Miss this podcast. So we're just hoping everything's okay, and then he comes back, and then he's as annoying as ever, right, Wally?
Absolutely. I must be using his mic because there's like a caca smell coming off it.
Yeah, I think I forgot to clean that one, but yeah, that's pretty much Hugo's. I'm sorry about that one, man.
Some shrapnel. Like poo and beer.
Poo and beer, yeah, that's right. All right, so we're going to do as much safety as we can from him. While he's out, he does have a great group with him, led by Kurt Petrad and Greg Sepiel. But they're trying to do as much as they can to fill Hugo's spot. But unfortunately, nobody can replace Hugo. But again, they are doing their best what they can do. So the first thing they do want to talk about would be the seatbelt auditing. If you already know, they are auditing us as random as they can. So, and they're the biggest thing that they're seeing and they're writing us up for is people not putting it when they're on the power stoves and belt loaders. That's the key. That's the big one. That they're actually been using it on the power stove, not the power stoves, the pushbacks, the electric tugs and the gas tugs. But we're actually having a bad time putting them on when we're on the belt loaders, and we have to. We have to actually put them on when you're driving any equipment, and when the minute is in motion, you have to have a seatbelt on. And these guys are watching us, and they are giving final letter of warnings out for these, and the company's not fighting. I mean, they're not trying to work with us. They're just going to go straight to DC, our district level. But yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to go. So
I felt like with the bellows and power stoves, it should have been something they should have eased into a little more, because I mean, for as long as we've worked there, and even guys who have worked there in a year, it's never been something we've ever had to do. So I think really felt like they should have just kind of eased into it instead of not going right to write-ups for that.
Yeah, they're going, because I mean, I catch myself sometimes when I'm on a belt loader. I catch myself sometimes not. So I've been working my way to actually putting them on. But yeah, they're watching, man. But I don't get it. I don't know why they just go straight to it, and they're not even giving any leeway to it. All they're offering is 9-month pull on a final letter of warning.
Yeah, and I have to assume that. I mean, from what I was told when this was getting rolled out, and I was told this from above the station, that this is something that's from Dallas. That's instruction they're getting from Dallas. This isn't something just station specific that they're doing. Yeah. It's supposed to be system wide.
So Wally, I need you to explain to them, so to the agents. So when they grieve something, it's not an automatic where the letter is just going to come out just because they grieve it.
No. I mean, unfortunately, and I know, some guys might like to think so. Sometimes our agents are just people fuck up. I mean, there's instances where people are wrong, and sometimes it just comes down to mitigating. And it could be something is like not returning a radio, not returning a scanner. I returned it the next day. Well, that's not what their rules is what you're supposed to do. So, I mean, in that case, they start out with a warning letter with that, which I don't think anybody agrees with, even at the station level, because all you do is grieve it, and if it's been returned, it gets down to a discussion log. And that's kind of what I'd say by mitigating. It's not that we can't always alleviate your guilt if you're guilty of something, I guess, per se. Mm-hmm. But we can lessen the blow, I guess. You could say that. I mean, because let's face it. I mean, none of us are perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes rules are just rules, and we do have to follow them, unfortunately. And sometimes it's just all we can do is lessen it.
Now, it's in the end, it's their decision right now. I mean, we could argue all we want, but in the end, if they decide to go with the grievance awarded or not, it's really up to them.
Yeah, I mean, they can decide at the station level whether they want to want to accept whatever we go with, and whatever our argument is or whatever their argument is. There's grievances for stuff like radios and things like that are more cut and dry. Either you returned it or you didn't. And that's when we get in the gray area. The gray area is when we come and more argument is left for, late to a flight or not showing up to a flight, or because a lot of times with that there's circumstances that they don't always research on their end, and once we research it on our end, a lot of times we can find that there's, we've gotten letters pulled for that, and there's little things that we do argument wise to help, but it's not always. Unfortunately, it can't always go in our favor.
Right.
There are some things, and there are some things that I know myself that I'll, argued and yelled and screamed and swore, and still they stand tall, and they're standing on it. This is what they want, and this is what they think it should be. So that we end up setting it forward, and that's when it goes to. It's not, believe it or not, it's a lot less than you think. They work with us pretty well with a lot of our stuff. Not everything, but a lot of our stuff they do work with us pretty well. Right. And I'm not going to say some write-ups and stuff are predetermined, but when you get a lot of the same exact write-ups for the same exact thing, we eventually come down to a general settlement on what we normally would settle something on like that, unless there's something something fishy going on with it, or there's different circumstances. Okay. If that makes sense. If any of that makes sense.
So, and they're not even. But the thing is, when it comes to the seatbelts, they're not even arguing. They're just like, no, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
So, but again, it's not from here; it's from above.
Yeah, that's a hard stand that Southwest. I wouldn't even say Midway. It's Southwest came up with.
And I would imagine it's kind of hard, especially because you can't argue a seatbelt. You can't really argue it.
The only thing we've argued in the past is, well, put it this way: they're going to go with whatever their people say.
Right.
So we've argued in the past. Well, how do you know they didn't have a seatbelt on? Just because I wear my seatbelt, but you can't see it because I'm fat, and the strap goes underneath. Underneath you can't see it. How do you know I wasn't wearing a seatbelt? You have those arguments, but at the same time, they're not gonna. They'll look at cameras, and even sometimes they can't determine that. We've had some success with that, but most of the time they're not going to not stand by their leaders, because then it looks like they don't have faith in their people.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do that.
I could see that. Oh, that sucks. To keep going, we ever having tug issues, man. Boy, you're not there yet to see this, but I actually had to experience this firsthand with the telemetry, when you don't put your seatbelt on. So in the beginning, it was actually pretty bad, but I guess now, I'm in a local tug. So, you can't really bump into the second, the passenger seat. It's pretty easy, but it's the transfer tugs that are getting really bad. Again, try your best to do. Now, what I usually do, and it works for me, I'm not saying it's going to work all the time, but you get out of the tug, and then you everything obviously is going off, and then you get back in the tug, and then you don't turn it on, but you turn the ignition. You don't turn it all the way on. You just turn it one way, and then just turn all the lights on, and then you fasten your seatbelt, and then you start the motor, and then hopefully that helps. Hopefully, that helps. God, it always goes to movie innuendos. But anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much. But that's the best you can do. If you can't figure it out, just make sure you call your soup as soon as possible. That way you can cover your ass in case you're doing a flight. But man. At those tugs. Well, it's not. I haven't had that many issues with it, but it does suck when it does happen.
Well, I know, and I haven't been there. I'm actually back. Just FYI, I'm supposed to be back by the 17th, light duty. I'm currently weaning off my boot.
Okay.
So I'm half the day in the boot, kind of right now, half not with the boot. Just to kind of, I was in the boot for almost 6 weeks, so he's got me being able to walk without it. Okay. Kind of slowly get me into it. But back to, I haven't been there. I really hope that, and I haven't heard anything about anybody really being held accountable with what's going on with these tugs.
Nothing yet.
Because I think I mentioned this before on one of our last, might have been the last podcast where I spoke on. Southwest has a habit of putting things out when I say Southwest in general, has a habit of putting things out when they've, 75% done on their end. So then, once it's out there, and then, well, this fucks up, and then, it's in the past we've had our people held accountable for it when it's not our fault, because they didn't do fully what they should have done in the first place. They roll stuff out with AC, like with the tugs. Why wouldn't they test this for a while first to see if it works? Now we're just going to roll it out for everybody, and then now all of a sudden we have all these issues. Why wouldn't they have tested it first for a week or so with a few tugs, with a few people, just to see what's going on?
And get it done.
No, we're going to roll it out full, and then
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out as we go.
You know what? And that's what sucks sometimes, because sometimes they, a lot of stuff they implement, it's just like you said, it's not. I don't want to say half-assed, but they just like it's people not fully prepared, and they put it on us, and then they, in a way, it seems like they just wait to see what we do about it and how we can help them fix it by doing it at the time. You know what I mean? That's how I feel, because everything they implement, it's never right away, and it's never good right away. It's just complete chaos, and then we have to figure out a way where we can actually do it and give them what they want and what we want at the same time.
Right.
So, and they usually follow.
And unfortunately, this goes back to, I remember when we had, everybody's been here for a little while, RX.
Man.
David would remember that.
Man.
They were basically a department the company had where they went to different stations and tried to streamline, I guess. I don't know, try to, make things better, quote unquote better. But we would sit in those meetings and get in arguments because they went off of computer models for everything. It was almost never anybody that's ever done our job. So they have somebody sitting behind a computer telling us what should work for us, but nobody actually ever doing the job. In a way, and most of the time, nobody that's done our job. I mean, and I don't think that's changed much.
No, it really hasn't.
I think it's just there's no RX department anymore. It's just they just throw it out there and say,
let's figure it out. Yeah. Yikes! But again, they can, right?
Yeah. I mean, in the end, it's their company. It's their something I got from DC. He likes to say is they have the right to manage or mismanage their workforce.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And you know what? And that's what a lot of people are complaining because of. I don't know if you've noticed, you've been gone, but they've implemented the where we have to go and upstairs and get the checked baggage, and they want it before. Yeah. They want it before the plane gets there, and they want it before you board, and then they want it after. Because they don't want you to do it during boarding, because a lot of people say they don't. Well, how are we going to go through all these people and then get the bags? Well, no, they want you to go beforehand, and the designated area, which they say is the ops podium, and they're supposed to be there. But that's what they want.
Well, see, and that's part of what I don't agree with. I've been hearing a lot about this. It's supposed to be a shared job between ops and us. It's supposed to be shared work. I don't understand why they don't either have the passenger or an ops agent get those bags down to the end of the jet bridge to make it easier on everybody. So it's only making it easier on ops right now and making it harder on us.
Well, remember, it was a grievance that was turned in. The grievance that was turned in by the ops, or was it?
Well, it was the grievance
by the ops agent, wasn't it?
No, it was a ramp agent. It was ramp. This was out of Detroit. Ramp and ops. It was both.
Okay.
But it was the fact that customer service soups were doing it.
Okay.
It didn't. So that's what they came up with is they can't leave it by the podium, but it's a shared job between ramp and ops. So ops has no reason why ops can't. If they, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're going to have those Orlando flights and all the other bullshit where they're, all the wheelchairs and strollers and everything else where they probably have a hard time doing that.
Right.
But for so many other flights, I don't understand because they know these ahead of time. They know ahead of time these flights that are going to be generally will have bags and stuff like that. They should be able to plan those ahead of time. Whether there's somebody extra on ops, so I feel like they're putting more on the ramp than they are ops. Because ops are just like, whoop, they're at the podium. I wash my hands, and that's it.
That's what's going on. And it's like we can't say anything because it's our job. We have to. Then they want us to be up there.
But it's also ops' job to do stuff on their end too, which I really feel like we need to push more.
I mean, they're probably going to help us out moving it to the jetway down there. Because from what I'm hearing, the minimum, because right now they capped it because of the assigned seating, the introduction to that.
Yeah.
So, but now that's gone, and now it's going to free reign. They're talking like an average of 20 to 30 bags per flight. That's going to have to come down.
Well, I heard in other stations, and I heard a rumor they may be doing it, looking to do it at Midway, not as a bidded line, but as I'm not sure how they were going to put it out there, but have basically teams that that's their job for the day, is to get jetway bags.
That's what supposedly. I mean, I'm not saying it's.
That's why I didn't want to say nothing because it's been brought up, but I didn't know if it was going to ever happen.
Yeah, they're looking at it happening here at Midway. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but they're looking into it to where they have just a specific person or a team assigned just to do that only.
Right, because it got brought up to me, and it was kind of like feeling it out, how people are going to feel about it. I said, to be honest, probably at the beginning, you're probably going to get some people complaining they don't want to do it because, I mean, let's be honest, on the ramp, we complain about any kind of change whatsoever. Nobody likes change. But I said in the end, I think, honestly, it'd be like during COVID when we had to clean planes. When they first started doing that, nobody wanted to do it. By the end, everybody was fucking fighting to do it. That's all. No, everybody loved it. I don't think think this would be a tough job. You get a handful of flights where you just got to show up, grab bags from the jet bridge and bring them down.
And that's it.
And that's
all you got to do.
That's all you got to do for the day. I don't think that would be, I don't think I would do that job.
So for now, they want that third person because again, I think it's kind of our fault because these guys want to help scan. When I don't know, I don't know what they could be doing. Instead of they're standing around, they could be helping offloading, but there is a free person who can go up there. Because the person that's scanning the bag while the other person putting on the belt, well, you don't need, we're not supposed to do that.
Especially when you got four-man teams,
yes,
too.
You can't be a guy scanning. A guy who's scanning the bag is supposed to be putting it on the belt loader. So the other guy doesn't have to be there. So the most likely, where is he going to go? He's going to go upstairs. He's going to get those bags.
Right. Because scanning is not a position either, which
no.
I think people still think that is.
But that's what happens. I mean, we want to walk around. We don't want to actually help out. We don't, we show them that, hey, we're not doing anything right now. We don't have to. Well, that's cool. Well, now they found something for you to do.
Right.
So because they're eyeing us. What people don't understand is that they're watching us and they're seeing where they can fit whatever they need us things to go and whatever we need us to do. But
I've learned through the last few years, Dallas can actually monitor our cameras and they can watch our cameras from Dallas.
Yes.
So I've seen people get written up for audits that came from Dallas watching cameras. So it's they got their finger and everything. So they'll I don't think they're gonna find something for us.
Yeah. Well, it's funny we're saying this, and I'm reading it. I'm reading this email I'm getting from Q, and it says here, it says red and blue days. There's I guess there's gonna be red and blue days. These days are reflective of the higher seat factor. Obviously, red means there's a higher seat factor on these flights, on the days, I mean, and the blue means you're not going to have that much. And what they really want to pay attention to is to the ramp agents. There's going to be agents that will be assigned to assist upstairs with the CSAs in collecting bags to bring down to the ramp. So agents will be assigned. At least, I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, that they're going to assign some guys to do it.
Well, I don't.
You want the opposite.
A little worried about this assisting the CSAs. CSAs shouldn't be doing.
I guess.
I mean, the CSAs bring them to the podium.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
that's what they're collecting them to bring them down the ramp. Obviously, CSAs don't do that. It'll be us.
Yeah.
So, but now here's something else that I got. So from what Rhonda was telling me is that they're going to start actually soliciting, trying to solicit passengers at the ticket counter. And they're going to try to get them to check their carry-on bag for free, and then they get sent it from there. And those bags will count towards the counts they need for the gate check bags. So I mean, it'll be free.
Yeah.
But let's just see how many people are like, look, man, I want to check. The point of this is to carry it on. You know what I mean?
Carry on for a reason.
Yeah. So, but again, they'll say it's for free, and then they'll put it on, and they're trying to use those to be part of the count that they need for that flight. So, but again, except from here, it says who the agents will be assigned. So maybe I should have read this before actually talking to you about it. But yeah, that's what's coming. And then the above the wing leaders will support the briefings and communication assisting agents what gates will need support in getting the bag. So I guess they're going to communicate with them. They'll probably give them a radio. probably what's going to happen. They'll probably give him a
Yeah.
channel to do something. But again, this is what I'm seeing. But yeah, that's pretty much. And then of course he's saying seatbelts. They're the same thing we were talking about with the seatbelts. And then a big thing is agents got to be ready by the gates when they got to be ready to bring in the flight when it gets there. That's a big thing that they're checking. And then no bags on the back of the tugs, obviously.
Right.
It's been forever, but
yeah.
I guess they're noticing more from
Probably late T-point bags, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or people throwing their golf bags on the back.
Yeah, that's a big one. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of guilty of that shit too. So, but it's just so convenient,
Yeah, I know.
man.
I know.
But especially when you don't have enough room to put that thing in, you're like, man, I'm not gonna get a cart. I just put it on here. Why not?
Right.
If I run it over, who cares? It's not mine.
Yeah, it's not a wedding dress. Who cares?
Yeah. That will forever haunt me. The thing that nobody knows is I did not load that cart. Somebody else did, and they just told me, okay, take it to T-point. I did, and they put a wedding dress right on top. And man, I'm glad she was coming from the wedding. But that will forever haunt me. But speaking of doing locals, we're actually, and I'm doing it, is we're scanning our bags in T-point.
Oh, they are doing
Yeah, they are doing. Yeah, they got to that. So I thought it was going to be later on this year, but I guess they moved it in as quickly as with T-point. So, but yeah, you just pretty much, you guys got to scan each bag that you put downstairs. The scanner, you're gonna have to go from the transfer driver, whatever you use for the transfer. You got to go to where the gate agents use. What is that? I forgot what, quick base or whatever. Whatever the gate agents use. Because I'm not in the gate, so I don't know. So I had a point.
I barely know how to use a scanner.
But anyway, so when I went in there, instead of you doing a flight, you're gonna go to tracking. Once you get tracking, then you push it to where you're gonna put you're in baggage claim. Then you're gonna put what your carousel you're putting it on, and then obviously it's a drop off bags. But they give you the option of drop off bags, and that's it. Once you do it, you don't got to put the flight number in. You just got to just scan the bags. They just want to know what carousel you're putting it on, or that you're actually putting it on a carousel. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's annoying, especially when you get those 100, 150, bags, and you just got to know how to scan. But the 20, 30 bags, that it's not that bad. But it's just an extra thing you got to do. But it's not bad.
Yeah.
It just sucks when it just sucks when you got to scan 150 bags again.
Right.
It just totally sucks. Yeah, I ain't got too much. But you know what? Can you unpaid union dues, man? Can you elaborate more on that, man?
They actually just put out an email about that today.
Yeah.
The union did. Let me see. Because there actually is something for agents to. They create a new digital exoneration. You can also ask for exoneration from it while you're out.
So you can actually.
Yeah, they just put out starting on this pay period. It's a new digital exoneration form. It will be linked to within each due arrears notice for members who wish to request exoneration while on leave. And they give you a link and everything to go to, and basically it'll tell you what you owe in dues and all that and blah, blah, blah. I guess they're just trying to keep up on unpaid dues because I guess it was an issue in the past. I know I've been, like, since I've been out and I went on full workman's comp for the last month, my last two paychecks, like on the day I get an email saying I owe my dues. I'm like, Jesus, man.
So now when when you can exonerate yourself, now is it going to add up, or you just don't have to pay at all?
Hang on, let me see what that says.
Because that would suck. If like you said, oh yeah, you got to pay it right now, but you do have to pay it eventually.
You know what? I wish I knew that for sure.
Well, we'll figure that out eventually. Maybe we should do our research before actually putting it on here. But
yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I would have.
Yeah, I know. That question just popped in my head as you were saying it. So
I can get in contact with. I can contact with our treasurer.
Okay.
Jason Sonnebaum. I'll ask him.
Okay, and then we'll go from there. A couple more things because I think we're almost at the limit here. So if you guys notice, if you're going down to T-Point, driving down to T-Point, you see a bunch of sand. There was a crap load of sand everywhere, and it was just making it worse. It wasn't making it better; it was making it worse. So the safety team contacted the management. Management contacted the city, and now the city is trying to remove as much as they can. That way we can drive a little bit better, especially with the snow and ice going away. We don't need that anymore. But right now, you guys are going to see the city going down there, at least clean as much of the sand as possible. And then just be careful right now because be careful on the ramp because it's still slippery with the glycol still being sprayed on there. And people are swerving and fishtailing. So be careful. Be very careful. And that's it. That's it, man.
There was one thing I wanted to add.
Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to make sure I put that in there because it came up again today. When you call in sick, if you have a double, make sure you give all your hours when you call in sick, or just say I'm calling in sick for the day. We ran into a couple instances lately where guys have been on doubles. Say, they got a 6 to 2:30, and then they have a double, and then they have like a 2:30 to 11 shift. When they call and they leave a message to say they're calling in for my shift 6 to 2:30. Well, we have had a couple people, they've given no shows for the PM because they say they didn't call in for the PM. My argument is, and always has been, you call in sick, you call in for the day. All right, maybe you fucked up and didn't give all your full hours. Whatever. You still called in sick. You called in for sick, you called in for the day. As far as I know, that's the way it's always been. Company's argument is, right now, is you could have came in for the other shift. I said, no, you couldn't. If you call in sick, you're calling in for the day. When has anybody ever come back and said, I want to come in for the other shift? I feel better. Never. I've never heard that ever. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think they're getting confused with the fact if you no-show on a double, you can come in for the other shift. But calling in sick has always been you call in sick for the day. That became prevalent like during COVID when they didn't want anybody there.
Yeah.
And it's been the same since. So
yeah, because we're having a couple incidents with that and with a couple people. So
yeah. So I'm not going to go too much more into that. I just real quick I want to throw that in.
That's cool. So you are healing though, right? The leg is healing.
Yeah,
we're going in the right direction.
I had an X-ray done on Monday, and he said the bones are healing. It doesn't feel great all the time, but they said with a broken ankle, it could be months before I fully feel like, no pain or anything like that. It's going to get some achiness, some soreness. Okay. And it bothers me a little bit when I walk, but not terribly. I've been real, how do I say it, walking kind of gingerly, I guess you'd say, because I'm just like, I'm kind of paranoid because he's like, don't go out and do any yard work or any stupid shit like that where you can step in a hole and roll your fucking ankle again. Because he said, it's going to be like take 6 months to a year before it's like full strength and completely.
Yeah, so you ain't doing nothing but just
I mean, it's just he just basically said be careful. Just don't get crazy, and it's just basically how you feel.
Okay. All right. Well, before my dog starts barking. But that's it, man. Thanks again for coming and filling in for Hugo. But again, before we go, give us something. Be quiet. Sorry, guys, it's my dog. But give us something, Wally, for these guys to watch while they're waiting for their flight.
Oh, I've watched so much crap, and I actually thought about what I'm watching right now. I'm watching so many different things.
Uh-huh.
One show I've been watching, and it's pretty interesting, and I kind of like it. It's called Monarch. It's Monarch: The Legacy of Monsters. I believe it's the subtitle. It has to do all about like Godzilla, King Kong movies, and all that stuff like that. Kurt Russell's actually in it.
Why haven't I?
And I didn't know they made a series of it. I found it by accident, and I started watching it. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Where's it on?
It's on crap. I think it's on. Is it on through Disney? I think I'm watching it. Hang on. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's on Prime.
Oh, it's on Prime. Oh, perfect. So I can
it's on Apple TV and Prime.
Oh, because all I can do is Prime. I heard things on Apple TV, man. I'm gonna have to subscribe because I know they were saying the mayor of Kingstown. I think that's a good show they were talking about.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't know why I haven't sat and watched it.
Yeah, they're saying that's a good one. But no, mine is not that one. Mine is actually on Netflix. It's called The Beast in Me. The Beast in Me. It's starring Claire Danes and Matthew Rhys. My guy from Mr. Rogers, that Mr. Rogers film, that was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, Claire Danes is a grieving mother. She's a grieving author, and she really can't find her story. So she sees a story in her next door neighbor who's a wealthy, but he's a wealthy guy with a lot of businesses, but he's been in the tabloids because his wife passed away, and they think that everyone thinks that he did it, but he's saying no. So she finds a way to actually see if she could write a book about him. And while she's doing that, she finds out that he probably is a crazy motherfucker.
Really?
It's actually really good, man. But
Oh,
yeah, it's
shit.
called The Beast in Me. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
I still got a week and a half, so I got something to watch.
Again, Wally, man, thanks again for filling for Hugo, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know
Anytime.
Hugo. Yeah, so Hugo again. Hope you get better, man. Get back over here. We miss you already. But again, that's it for the Quick Question podcast. That's it for our Quick Question podcast. Again, guys, tune into us, like us, subscribe to us. Again, my name is Eric Perez. I'm your host of one of your union reps, alongside your union rep for the station, Wally Matties. Wally.
You guys take care. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye.